Hey, third grade friends, I'm so sorry that we got cut off earlier today and we couldn't finish our lessons for today. So I wanted to talk to you about what we're learning in math. Today's learning target is I can relate multiplication to the array model. And you might be saying to yourself, what on earth is an array model? Well, here is an array model. There's lots of different kinds, but it shows you a multiplication problem. An array model is just a picture that shows a multiplication problem. So when you are looking at an array like this, we're going to need to count the number of rows. And the way that I can remember which way rows go up or down is row, row, row your boat. You always row to the side. You wouldn't be rowing this way up and down. So row, row, row your boat is rowing to the side. And rows go side to side. So there's one row and there's two rows. So this multiplication problem would be 2, because there are 2 rows, times 4, because there are 4 in each row. And there's a couple of ways that we can count this to get the answer in case you don't have a picture in front of you. One way is to count by 2's. So if we counted by 2's, we'd say 2, 4, 6, 8. And the other way is to count by 4's. So 4, 8. So 2 times 4 equals 8. This array shows 2 times 4 equals 8. Let's see if we can make another one. We'll add some in here and make a new array. Remember that an array is just a picture that shows a multiplication problem. Okay, so here we have another array. And can you guess what our first number is going to be? You have to first count the rows. And remember, they go side to side. I will draw a circle around each row. So how many rows do we have there? Say it out loud. Good. We have 3. So 3 rows. 3 is going to be the first number in our multiplication problem. And the second number, do you know where we get the second number from? Can you say it out loud? Good. We get the second number by counting how many are in each row. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this array shows 3 times 5, and that equals 15. But it's super important that you remember that you're putting the first number is the number of rows. Now, when you're not looking at an array, when you're looking at a regular picture, you're always going to use the number of groups first. We talked about this yesterday. And remember that all the groups have to be what? Every group has to be what to be a multiplication problem? You've got it. It has to be equal. They have to be equal groups, or it's actually not a multiplication problem. You cannot do a multiplication problem. Say if we had 3, 3, 4, 3, can't do it. It has to be all equal. So this problem, remember, we're going to use the number of groups first. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And the second number is going to be how many in each group. So remember that your first number is always going to be your number of groups or rows, and your second number is going to be how many in each group or row. So when we say I can use equal groups to create arrays, 2 things you need to take away from today. One is they have to be equal groups. Must be equal groups or you cannot do a multiplication problem. And this one is not an array. An array is just a picture that looks something like this. That's an array. Let me show you another one. Here's another array. That one's 2 times 2 because we have 2 rows with 2 in each. I'll do one more. Let me just add to this guy. Oh, I've run out of little dots. We'll have to use big ones. So this one, it's sort of on an angle here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 rows times 1, 2, 3, 4 in each row. So this array shows you 5 times 4 equals 20. Hope that helps. See you tomorrow.